Pretty Cure is a franchise. That's somewhat underselling it though, so let me reiterate real fast. Pretty Cure is the magical girl franchise. All others kowtow to the juggernaut that is Pretty Cure, or Glitter Force for us gaijin. Spanning 20 years of various shows and products, Pretty Cure has cemented itself as probably the most magical girl show out there. So when a bundle of money crossed my desk, I was intrigued and horrified to learn that I was going to be making a TTRPG out of it. Now, there's a few things about Pretty Cure that's a bit odd to know about. You may be thinking magical girl and start thinking Maguka or something similar. Girls act sad and then use magic to be more sad and die violently. Or that other one we don't talk about here. That's not Pretty Cure. That's the dark deconstruction of what Pretty Cure actually is. This is a franchise aimed at girls ages 8 to 12 for Sunday morning cartoon shenanigans. The adventures are simple, the message is pure, and people are nice, but I forget. Pretty Cure throw fucking hands, and they don't tend to miss. Taking a lot more from Sentai works, Pretty Cure is a show about love, friendship, and pile driving a monster with righteous combat. So how do you turn this into a TTRPG? I had to kind of completely rethink how to go about making things. In an esoteric sense of disassociation, I had to think not as a grown-ass man, but as someone writing a game for kids who is actually writing a game for grown-ass men. Everything in Pretty Cure transformation phrase is written with this dissociative state of mind, for better or for worse. At its core, it's a D6 system with evens as successes and odds as failure. Most everything we do is adding more dice to our pool or having them removed because something bad is going on. Before we get into anything more complicated than that, we have to build our playset, effectively a seasoned guidebook detailing the rating, themes, motifs, problems, who our protagonists are, and the villains. Our characters themselves have 12 attributes that improve over time, but only assign a 3-2-1 to personal combat and defense, while assigning a 1-2-3-4 to their force, magic, clever, and heart. So if a Pretty Cure has a personal of 3 and a force of 2, they'll have an action attribute of 5, rolling 5d6 whenever it's appropriate, mixed with their various quirks, clubs, hobbies, and some extra dice if they ever play to their character's nature and problems. From there, every Pretty Cure writes out one of their signature powers, either making a defensive or battle-oriented, and ta-da! You've made your very own Pretty Cure. From there, every episode plays out in cycles. Each of the Pretty Cure will take their turn being the focus in a scene, interacting with the central character whom the episode revolves around. Better things go, the worse off the villains are going to be, except when things go poorly, then things get really bad. This continues until the climax of the episode, a battle phase. A battle in Pretty Cure starts with their transformation sequence, but as they perform that disco rave over there, we'll start explaining momentum. There is no health in Pretty Cure. People do not get seriously injured or start coughing up things they shouldn't. Every attack, every defense, and everything being done is either giving momentum to the Pretty Cure or the monster they're facing. Using this bullseye map, the Pretty Cure have the advantage in speed, agility, and sometimes even power, being able to use a variety of actions to launch attacks, inspire their allies, or assist others in times of need. However, when the Pretty Cure have the initiative, they can take turns in any order, but at the end of all their actions, they may hand off initiative to the monster to get to use their special powers later on, including their powerful finishing technique to actually defeat the monster. Should the Pretty Cure also fail in action, such as attempting an attack and botching that shit immediately, they will automatically hand off initiative to the monster instead. The goal is to kind of think ahead. How much can we risk without losing our abilities? When do we pass it off to let the monster take a few actions before attempting to steal it back? When the monsters do go, they'll be rolling on a chart of random attacks to break the Pretty Cure and force them to defend themselves, but they can quickly turn the tide with a really devastating attack, sending our heroes flying in all directions. To augment this, monsters will be rolling on the mood table at the start of their turn, possibly reducing their attack power or making them go sicko mode. Worst case scenario is that they berserk, turning them into a whirlwind of danger as they are nearly defeated. If they ever reach maximum momentum, the Pretty Cure perform their ultimate finishing technique for purifying the monster of evil in an explosive showcase. Should they fail, however, they can either pay a really nasty cost or be forced to retreat as the monster begins rampaging again. Of course, later on you'll also be fighting generals and dark Pretty Cure, people with all the toys that the Pretty Cure have, with additional nasty surprises to bring out. And at the end of the session, you're allowed to increase some of your attributes and get some branded merchandise. I mean magic items that can be used to boost up the Pretty Cure and assist them in battle. Pretty Cure transformation phrase was actually pretty fun to write, if only because I had to get into a different headspace than how I normally right. That Headspace came with its own unique set of ideas to supplement a system that needed a batch of unique ones to make it actually work. Now, if only Toei would pay me and the commissioner to make it official. C'est la vie. My name is Notepad, and on this was Precure Transformation Phrase. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any comments, the document is open below. Many thanks to the Dark Lords of the Fortress Darkbat for their continuous financial contribution to defeating the Pretty Cure. We got it this time, guys. Our brand new monster's flawless.